So in this video, we are going to be working on shoulder elevation that's probably causing you some shoulder pain. So in your self-assessment, if you noticed that one hip was coming higher than another, oftentimes that makes a chain reaction, so the opposite shoulder ends up coming higher too, because we want to stay on this gravity line. So if one hip shifts, you're going to either fall over this way, or the opposite shoulder is going to shift. And now you have an uneven load bearing through your back, through your entire body, and you end up getting probably some tightness in this shoulder, and we want to level out that hip so that shoulder can come down and you can be pain-free. So we're going to start with some glute contractions here. Now I'm actually going to let you start with your feet everted because it's going to be a little bit easier to find your glutes. So evert your feet, still hip width apart, and we're going to just squeeze and release your butt muscles. Squeeze, release. I like to put my hands on my butt here just so I can feel it. If you don't want to, you can just relax your arms to the side. Now make sure that we're not pushing our pelvis forward as you do this, okay? There's no pelvic thrust in this. You're just squeezing your butt muscles up and down, and up and down, and up and down. Excellent. Are we feeling those glute muscles evenly here? If you are feeling them evenly, I want you to go ahead and switch to feet straight, hip width and parallel, and squeeze and release here. Good. Did that change how you were feeling it? Were you feeling it evenly before and now you're not even? If you weren't feeling it evenly before, then stick with the feet everted just for a little while, and then you can try bringing your feet straight. So we're squeezing, releasing, same thing. We're not letting our pelvis rock. Our stomachs are relaxed. We're just squeezing that butt up. I know it kind of looks like I'm not really doing anything. I'll give you the side view so then you can actually see like I am doing something. Good. So we're going to do 3 sets of 20. I have no idea how many we've already done. So we're going to say we're halfway through the second set. These kind of go by pretty fast. Now if you do have an elevated hip, you probably are going to feel some unevenness. So as we go, our whole goal is to even it out. Again, sound like a broken record. Good. Last 20 here for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Did you feel like towards the end there your butt was squeezing equally? That is our goal. And if you didn't feel like it the very first time, as you do this throughout your days, it'll get more even. So this next set we're going to do is called prone ankle squeezes. So grab your yoga block. You're going to stick it in between your feet so the inner part of your foot is touching the block. You're going to pull your toes down so you flex your feet. Your knees are about hip width apart or slightly wider than hip width. So if you have trouble with this exercise, if it's not easy for you, you can widen your knees and it'll get easier. All right, you're gonna cross your hands down and you can place your forehead into your hands here. So that way you don't have to twist your neck, because remember, we're working on things being even. So pulling your toes down, I want you to squeeze the entirety of the inside of your foot together against the block and release. And together against the block and release. So you're not just squeezing your ankles, you're not just squeezing your big toe, you're squeezing the entirety of your foot. You also want to make sure that your pelvis doesn't try to arch up, you don't try to stick your butt up into the air. So relax the bony bits of your pelvis into the ground and then squeeze and release. Again, if you are having trouble finding that activation here, and I'm gonna come up on my elbows so I can talk to you, then I want you to widen the knees a little bit further than hip width. So as you do this, we're basically working on rotating the femurs in the socket. And so you want to feel like your butt has to do some work here, that squeezing the inside of your feet is making a chain reaction into your butt. I know, it's kind of weird, but that's what we want to do here. So if you're not feeling that, then I want you to, again, stand up, take a lap around the room between sets. So that, we'll call that our first set. So if you need to do that, go ahead. I'm gonna fix my block, and then we're going to start up again. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Maybe you're feeling it more on one side of your body than the other, more on one leg or butt cheek. So we want to feel it about right here. That's our goal, because we're linking up the ankles with the glutes here. Now sometimes I'll have people, they really can't find their butt muscles here, so I'll have them think about squeezing their butt until they get that feeling. But I really don't want you to think about squeezing your butt. I want you to think about pressing your feet in, and your butt automatically engages. Good. Take another break, and I'm actually going to switch positions here so you can see another what not to do. Sticking that in between your feet. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So sticking that in between my feet, I want you to make sure that you're not pulling your knees together as you do this. That's not the work that we're doing. All right, we're pressing our ankles, the entirety of the inside of our foot, and that is the motion we're doing, not squeezing our knees. So let's do 15 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Excellent. So I don't know about you, but after those last two, I can definitely see feel my booty talking to me a little bit. All right, my friends, so we took a little vacation away from our studio to do this one. This one's called Gravity Drop. So this is one of the very few ones I'll let you actually wear shoes on. I actually encourage you to wear shoes for this. So all you need is a small step stool, or if you have a staircase with 2 banisters, you can use that because we are going to be holding on to something. So I placed this in front of a door frame here so I can hold on to the lip of the door frame because I'm going to be leaning back. You can also use a step ladder if you have that. So I'm going to step up, break my step stool. I'm going to step up onto this step stool, make sure my feet are parallel, hip width apart, slightly pigeon-toed. Then I'm going to walk my heels off of it and drop my heels down. So now my heels are dorsiflexing. And so now I want to make sure I slightly lean back so my ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders are in proper alignment and they're stacked over each other versus kind of letting my hips come forward or my hips bail back or kind of like this, all right? We're trying to make a straight line here. Now you can slightly engage your shoulder blades down and back. Then I like to look forward. A lot of people try to look down, okay, but that's going to now make your ear off of that plumb line. So make sure you look straight forward. Now you're probably feeling this a bit in your calves. That's kind of the whole goal here. So the calf is a very big muscle, but actually connects all the way through the back body. So we are releasing that equally and making a change all the way up into your mid-back and your shoulders. So our goal is to hold this for 3 minutes. Now, do you feel like one side is stretching more than another? Now, it's not because your feet are in the incorrect position, it's because that hip is doing something that it's not supposed to be doing. So we want to wait until that starts to even out and you feel it equally in both calves. So that's about 3 minutes. If you need to do a little bit longer, please do. Just make sure it's even. Now sometimes I move my hands around a little bit because my fingers get tired. Now like I said, if you do have a staircase, you can do this on your staircase and you can hold on to something to your side, but make sure that you have it on both sides so you're not twisting and holding on to something, because if we twist, then we're defeating the purpose because we're trying to get our twist out of our body right now. So we're going to give it about another minute. If you need to kind of come back up and reassess your feet, if they're slipping off too much, please do. Feel free. Don't forget to keep stacked. Keep your low joints stacked. So actually having my camera over here is really helpful for me to stay on alignment. So if you can do this in front of a mirror, or if you want to set up your tripod and do it in front of your camera, that's really going to help. Make sure that you're staying stacked. All right, let's give it about 30 more seconds. Are we starting to feel more even? You can even look at your shoulders, see if one shoulder is trying to kind of come up, or creep forward. Very nice. All right, go ahead and come up on the stool, then step down. I like to come up before I go down so you don't just fall off of it. All right, so now we're gonna do our supine groin stretch on towels. I know it's a really long name. So if you're not familiar with the supine groin stretches, I talk about them quite a bit in the tower. So if you have the tower, you're gonna be on the bottom rung of it. If not, I'm gonna show you the modification so you don't have to worry about it so much. So you're gonna lift your leg bent at 90 degrees up on your chair or block, and your other leg is going to be laid out straight. Now you can see I have a bolster here so you can't really see my leg, and I'll tell you the reason why for that in just a second. We have these two, I actually have rolls, but you can use a regular bath towel and roll it up to be about 2 or 3 inches thick. You're going to place one below your belly button and the other below your cervical spine, so below your neck. You can see I got to kind of scoot my block in here because it's not really bent at 90 degrees. It was a little bit further out. So just kind of reposition those rolls. I like to think of the roll under my lower back, right below my belly button, and this touching the top of my shoulders and in the curve of my neck. You're going to relax your palms facing up here. And then we have this leg stretched out long. I want you to have something blocking your foot so it's straight up into the air. So your toes are pointing straight up. So if I didn't have this block here, my foot could evert to the outside. Now it's not getting into that hip like I want it to. So bringing it on to the ground, blocking it with I have a bolster, but you can use a wall, you can use a book, you can use lots of different things. Get creative. So we're going to lay here for about 15 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to be here with you and talk you through that. You can pause the video, lay here for 15 minutes, and then you're going to switch over to the other side. So right now we are focused on releasing our primary hip flexors, bringing it back to its proper length while reestablishing the S curve in your spine. So even though it doesn't feel like much, this is making a huge chain reaction all the way up through your body and is going to help level out your hips so you don't have that shoulder pain anymore.